Okay, so some of my more astute viewers have noticed that my upload schedule, despite, many people thinking I don't have one, is actually based on the moon phase. And because of that, and not uploading anything on the most recent full moon, the Sturgeon moon, I'm getting a lot of people asking where the video is. So what we're doing today is a audience Q&A, because for the Sturgeon moon, I think it's probably 30 seconds into the video by now. What I was originally planning to show off was this, the fish gun. I've called it the Bonito. Get it? Because it's a bullet tuna. But yeah, no, that it doesn't work. So I need to get that working first. So instead, I'm answering your questions from Instagram. First things first. Oh, shit. That's a lot of bitters. Oh, that's really orange. Someone got me good with that one. You just need a rinse anyways. It's a Manhattan. Alright, I guess let's get started. Latest earworm. Plastic Smile by Perfume. I've been listening to a lot of Perfume lately. Favorite Death Grip song? Probably Lock Your Doors. Do I play video games, and if so, what are some of my favorites? I used to. I kind of had to stop because I don't really do anything halfway. Last video game I played was Elden Ring, and I put like 300 hours into that in like a month. And there may be 2 months. That's pushing the number of hours that's actually in a month. But I am planning on streaming Psycho Patrol R sometime soon. I got a code from that from Philly. Is the U.S. government hiding deep underground military bases? Yes. They're hiding them deep underground. Any shooting content in the future? Soon, hopefully. What's my favorite conspiracy theory that is so far detached from reality it can't be real? So, this is actually getting into something that is important, which is that I don't really have any interest at all in like the fake conspiracies. I think it just makes things more difficult. Do I think it would be globally beneficial for the United States to Balkanize? No, for many reasons. It would be worse here. It would, I guess, sort of be better for other places in a, Great Satan sort of sense, but that just means that it'll now just be Chinese Great Satan. No, absolutely not. Ridiculous. Why don't I play live shows in DC? Both my noise work and my other band are rad, want to see live. Kind of got burned out on doing that after, doing that for 10 years and no one going to them. Alright, what's my favorite Hunter Thompson quote? I believe I put this one in a video already, but it is: the music industry is a cruel, shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs. There's also a negative side. What's my real job? YouTuber, at this point. Used to be an electrical engineer. How do I achieve the color grading in my videos? I shoot in RAW, Blackmagic RAW. I use a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and then I color grade it with LUTs. Best routes for OPSEC. I want to contribute to community safely. So this isn't really going to be the answer you're going to like, but believe me when I say this, and like I'm completely dead serious. Everyone, everywhere, needs to be treating every single computer, every device, every laptop, every phone, as if it is a public library computer and they've got an IRS agent or, you know, an FBI agent standing over their shoulder watching them. Everything you do online is recorded. And if, you know, and I posted this recently on Twitter, and people were like, you know, there's no way that would take so much data. And it's like, if you look at the data center out in Utah, they had to invent a new type of byte, an exabyte, for the amount of data that was stored there. What else are they storing? Long distance shooting video when? Basically that one's dependent on finding a place to long distance shoot and also buying a rifle. Favorite kind of cheese? I like, a big fan of the Sartori Bellavitano Rum Runner. What are some simple ways I can avoid having my activities be tracked? You can't. If they want to. Really, I think the best way to do that is just not be interesting. What's objectively the coolest rifle ever made? Trying to get the gun tuber questions rolling. Honestly, probably the HKG-11. Did any weird things happen to you after making a video touching on spicy subjects? Yeah, I've had some weird stuff happen. Have you always been tech security oriented? Yes. What's my take on the New Jersey drones? It's just tests for, you know, it's our defense contractors. I'm certain of that. Picture a situation where you now get to hunt humans. What did I do to earn that? Earn is a weird word to use there. How do I feel about the constant FBI is coming for you jokes? Not really. The jokes I really get a lot of are the strongest swimmer ones. Are there any conspiracy theories you're inclined towards? No, none. Any thoughts on Sam Hyde? So, to preface this, I don't agree with his politics. I do absolutely appreciate his, aesthetic work, aesthetic sensibilities. I found $1 Million Extreme very funny. The editing style was, obviously a huge influence on me. Would I rather get struck by lightning or not get struck by lightning? Not get struck by lightning. How integral was my schooling to my current skill set of making cool shit? Considering that I was homeschooled, very. Have you ever planned on making a documentary about Iran-Contra or the Octopus? The Octopus, maybe. That one's got a lot of stuff that I think still hasn't been covered. Iran-Contra kind of got covered in the Aquino video. Thoughts on the amount of small wars popping up globally? War economy, baby. Do I think I'm on a watch list or any other type of list for this thing post? I don't think I'm on a watch list. I'm factually aware that I'm on multiple. What oscillator should I buy next for Eurorack? The Blue Lantern Braids clone I like. I like the what is it? There's a couple of them that I like a lot. Anything from Noise Engineering is cool. I like that a lot. Favorite color? I'm just phthalo green. Will I ever get my shirt that I ordered in March? Eventually. The problem with the merch store is that, for everyone complaining about their merch being late, I'm the one person who manages to somehow operate a merch store that I lose money on. Because I basically take no profit margin. You'll get it eventually. The order fulfillment thing is all screwy. I need to go through and clear out a bunch of all that stuff. Rest assured, I'm not making any money on this, and with the amount of chargebacks, I'm actually losing money. Stop fucking texting me. Has the CIA ever done any good? Anyone that says no to that has no idea about anything. Of course they've done good. They've done a lot of very shady stuff, but, they've done a lot of good stuff. No, I'm not compromised. I just, am an adult that lives in the world. What shit would/could you not talk about? I can't talk about it. Ever have a stalker? Yes. Why do you think I'm so into guns? 9mm or 40 Smith & Wesson? 9mm just for ammo availability. And okay, do I still browse 4chan after the Israel thing? I haven't browsed 4chan since probably 2017. What year did I start browsing 4chan? 2008. Resources/tools I use to do investigations. So OSINT framework is a great place to start. The Internet Archive, archive.org, been verified, Instant Checkmate are all platforms, all the People Finder sites. I do a lot of Google dorking, just using search operators and stuff like that. Best general life advice for a 21-year-old. So if you, don't get too attached to wanting to do something for a career and ask to be that specific thing, right? Because I spent a lot of time spinning my wheels trying to become a professional musician, and that just didn't really work out, but I've managed to achieve far more success with music just via, getting independently successful at making videos and then putting my music in my videos and getting it out of people that way than I was when I was, touring. Just try. If something isn't working, don't just keep grinding at it. Try a different variant of that thing. Under Peter Thiel's Tech Reich, would you rather be a Blood Boy sommelier or a human DMT cow? Neither. I would probably want to be running a CogSec contractor. Meme Blackwater. That's what I'm trying to do after YouTube. What drum gear do I like? I use, I like the old Heisty cymbals, specifically like the 404s and the 404s, 2002s, stuff like that, big beats. And then I use fiberglass shells, generally speaking. Opinion on KFC murder chicks. Big fan, I had him in one of my videos. Where would I put myself on the political spectrum/compass? The perimeter. What is my EDC setup? Keys, wallet, vape. I use the disposable, these ones, the Mike Tyson ones. They are the only ones that don't leak. A Flipper Zero, a Tudor Prince Oyster Date 32mm, 34mm, on a OEM Rolex Datejust band, 2 iPhone SEs, I mentioned a Flipper Zero, I think, a Kershaw Livewire Oldham pocket knife, and a Glock 19X with a Olight O-Sight SE. Okay, so you said the Sun Coliseum bass was my favorite bass amp because of EQ. Which model of that had? The Coliseum Bass 300, the solid state one, the one that looks sort of like it's something out of Doom. The equalizer on that is based off of the Surge Resonant EQ setup, or module, whatever you want. Are all of my sources primary, i.e. documents released, or do I ever use secondary sources? I use both. I made a whole documentary more or less adapting part of a book with the blessing of the author, for the record. Do you think the Pentagon holds brain in jars connected to AI, each with simulated lives? No, that's DARPA. Alternate answer. Yes. What do you think you are? You can only grab one weapon from a collection in a shit hit the fan scenario. Probably, if it's like really shit hit the fan, probably like just an actual, my regular AR. Ammo selection, what do I have loaded? Whatever the SIG jacketed hollow point defense, like the SIG jacketed hollow point one that's split. How do I not go insane from realizing all that stuff around us? I think if you learn, I think just if you kind of figure it out over the span of your whole life, it's just sort of like, yeah, that sucks, but you go insane if you just learn it all at once and you just realize that, like, wait, no, things aren't good. Thoughts on Steve Albini? Speaking of things that aren't good, that was a bummer when I learned that. All right, do I think Satan is real? I mean, in a manner of speaking, yes. Not, I don't think he's like a red guy with, goat hooves, or even really a he. But conceptually, in an abstract sense, yes. Will I do an astrology video? Anything talking about it? Not really. What inspired my editing style? As I mentioned before, mostly $1 Million Extreme. Favorite visual artist? I like Mark Rothko a lot. Do I suffer from tinnitus? Very bad. I was a drummer for a long time, and I spent more than I should have of that not wearing ear protection. Do I have a degree, or is my content primarily personal interest? I have 3/4 of a degree in electrical engineering. Would I ever cover the 2017 Las Vegas shooting? Yes, actually. You'll like a project that I have coming up. Any conspiracies in specific that I believe in that even my audience may look at me funny for? Yeah, plenty of them, but I'm not gonna share them on YouTube because you'll all get mad. Thoughts on the Bayside Miami aliens? Yeah, that was weird. It's about the extent of it. Do I have any good recommendations for nice tools to have around? The 12-volt Hiltis are actually incredible for the price and surprisingly well priced for Hilti stuff. I like those a lot. Should we feed safe, sleazy dudes into wood chippers? Yes, we should feed them into wood chippers. We should squish them with hydraulic presses. We should boil them. We should beat them with bats. We should dissolve them in acid. I don't like that type of guy. Either if you're going to be a sleazeball or don't. How do I get my daughter back? Is this like a Taken situation? Favorite drummer and or songs to play? Favorite drummer is probably Zach Hill. Favorite songs to play? It's all this, like, I don't think there's anything that's more fun or less fun. There's just stuff that's harder and less hard. In my personal opinion, what is the most solid career move in tech over the next 10 to 15 years? Memetics, probably. Opinion on Jewish tribalism. I'm against it, like I am with any kind of racial tribalism. I think it's a sort of reductive and base way of approaching things, and I don't like it. I think it's bad when anyone does it. Best phone for least government intrusion. Is there an option? No, there isn't. If they want access to it, they have it. It's like if you're doing anything that's like, the government can't see this, first of all, they'll be like, okay, well, now we're definitely looking at all of your stuff. And second of all, it's like they can see it anyways. Oh, shit, the white balance on this is all messed up. 1 second. Okay, that should be a bit better. How to maintain a shred of anonymity to the man online? You can't. You can be anonymous to other people. You can't be anonymous to the man online because the man is the one who invented the online and who runs it. Just not even really worth trying. Just being realistic. How do you think people should be currently interacting with and using AI, if at all? I think that the benefit of AI is for, I think that people are using it in a very stupid way and a very damaging way frequently. It's incredibly useful for extracting meaningful emergent properties or whatever from large sets of data for reverse engineering things. Be smart with it. If you know what the process is and it's just I wish I could, you should use AI if you have something where it's I know how to do this, I just would previously need to hire someone to just sit here for 30 hours a week just doing it themselves. That's when it's good to use AI. What is at Area 51? A bunch of secret planes, probably aliens. Why am I bald? Because there is less hair here than the rest of my head. When does the pain stop? Never. It gets worse. Any update on my nemesis? Yeah, we agreed to a ceasefire and a truce, which has been upheld so far, so I'm happy about that. What's a practical solution for the entire Palantir situation? Well, it would have been to not pass the Patriot Act, but that ship has sailed. Why are there people on Reddit who dislike me so much? So I'm assuming you're referring to the, like, r/cult headquarters post about my, triangular food gate video. You know who one of the moderators of that subreddit allegedly is a certain DC area restaurateur who requested to not be identified by name in a profile, who is, it's rumored. He also moderates a couple other interesting subreddits. How do I set up a shell corp in the Cayman Islands? Why does it need to be in the Cayman Islands? Set one up in Delaware. What keeps me motivated to make content? Needing to make more of it for money. What do I think about Sony CyberShot cameras and death grips? There's the Sony CyberShot DSC F828 is very interesting. It has a sensor that is almost completely unique. It's weird. They only made one camera with that sensor in it ever, and I think it does something freaky. Have I ever had a moment of true fear from the content that I have created? Yes, actually. One of my early kind of conspiracy videos resulted in me getting emailed a picture of my own front door, not from Google Street View. You wondered why I, got into guns. Why was my PKA appearance so shit? Okay, let's get into this. You people see a listing for an episode of Painkiller already with two, incredibly Aspergy, hyperfixated conspiracy nerds spurging out, and you click on it like, oh yeah, I want to hear about the conspiracies, and then you go like, hey, this is complicated and boring. Like, be funny, nerds. This is gay. And yeah, that, like, I am like this, as you can see from this video. Like, I'm also like that when talking to the funny people on PKA. And Brad put together a presentation that, as far as I can tell, about as close as you can possibly get to just straight up proved that President Lyndon B. Johnson had like 7 people murdered when he was a senator. And you're like, this is taking too long. 30 minutes out of a 4-hour podcast? I don't know what you were expecting, really. I still have the PKA boys, but good heavens, your fans are When am I going to go on the A Better Way to a podcast? Jordan, I've been trying. Let's pick a time. What is my favorite rifle and why is it Tika? I'm actually buying a T3X at some point soon. I believe I technically only own one rifle, although I will shortly own 2. I paid the tax man his $200 so I could put a stock on that. Give everyone a hint on next video/project. Next video that comes out on YouTube is going to be on that thing, amongst other squirted glizzies. Next big project, if you have watched this whole video, you might be able to sort of, the components of all of it are in this video, is all I'll say. Have I read Lenin, Stalin, or Castro? Why not? You assume that I haven't, correctly, but no, I like the, I kind of sympathize with some of the works of Lenin, based on the summaries of them that I've read. I think Castro had a little bit of a valid perspective, and I do think the U.S. kind of fucked him out of, hating communism. Stalin was a mass murderer. Like, killed probably, 30 million people? 20 million? I don't like Hitler either. Or Mao. I think after you hit the 8 digits of people that you kill, it starts getting iffy. It becomes a problematic fave. Terramar. Shush. I'm not trying to get deleted either on YouTube or IRL. How long have I played bass for? Biggest influences in playing tone/gear. I've been playing since I was probably 10, off and on. Biggest influences in playing, Les Claypool and John Entwistle and Brian Gibson from Lightning Bolt. Tone, probably also James Jamerson, and then tone, again James Jamerson. Gear is sort of what looks cool, what I find cool. Who is my favorite drummer, and why is it Zach Hill? It is Zach Hill, and because it is tautologically necessary. Do I have any specific bass pickups that I like the sound of? If so, what are they? It is... the bass pickup I use is actually a bridge pickup from a PV-T15. It's a Super Ferrite Blade P90. And it's because I had it, but then I liked it enough that I just kept using it. The strings I use are Labella tape wound 65 to 115s. What drums do I have in my kit? It is a 14x5 Fibes snare drum. Actually, that was previously owned by Alfredo Reyes of Chicago and Santana. Then a 12-inch rack tom, a 16-inch floor tom, and a 24-inch kick. All of them fiberglass. I should mention that. All of them Pearl fiberglass toms. The worst state to be in and why? New Jersey. You can't pump your own gas. It's Maryland, but worse. It's more like Guido. It's just Maryland, but more annoying. It has a just general off-putting vibe. The gas thing really bothers me. I don't know whether to tip the guy or not. Most of my experiences in New Jersey have been getting off of I-95 on the AAA and getting yelled at. Favorite type of booby trap? Landmines. Favorite Pop-Tart flavor? Strawberry. Kisses from Canada. Kisses to Canada. Worst experience while on benzos? I don't remember. My fiance asks, what's the last dream/nightmare I remember having? Same as every night, disposing of a body while people look for me. I've dreamt that every night for the past 15 years. Is there a topic I want to cover but I'm too cautious to make a video about? Yes, there's a couple. I'm too cautious to even tell you what those topics are. How do I feel about the GWAT aesthetic? I like it. I think it's cool. I think that it's gonna... I think for anyone below Zoomer, it's gonna be like annoying and dated. But it's modern enough for me that I think it's cool. And it shaped my entire experience of growing up watching the news. So, what was my honest opinion of the PKA guys? They were great. I really liked them. A2 rifle still valid. Yes, especially running like 6 ARC or something like that. Will I ever do a physical release of my music? Probably eventually. I just need enough good songs that I want to press them. Should the nutritional broth from the Flesh emulator vid have a crushed multivitamin? Just take the multivitamin. Swan's album I really dig. I really like The Seer. I really like The Great Annihilator. Those are my 2 favorite. What's the over-under on there being a globalist force trying to puppeteer policy/conflicts? 0/100, or 100-0, however you want to look at that. Who's my personal idol? Me. I don't know if you said this before, but what's the reason behind your name, or was it just cool? Flesh Simulator. It refers to... So I've got some kind of dissociative disorder that makes me feel like I'm piloting like a meat Eva. Will I do a long video on the Elan school? That's actually a good one. I might, actually. What BCG/barrel am I running in my AR platform? Whatever the one that came with my Geisley Super Duty H-Bar Mod 1 was, and then a H-Bar Geisley barrel. I use... Yeah, I know it's not really that interesting. First gun purchase. Just moved to Baltimore, lol. Honestly, so having been there, the thing that's going to be easiest and most effective is probably depending on your budget. If money isn't an issue, get a Benelli M4. If money is an issue, get a Stoger M3000 Tactical or a Panzer M4 Speed. Both of those are 1-to-1 part compatible. They're just Turkish Benellis. Get one of those, because you can just walk in. If you're in Maryland, you can just walk into the gun store and walk out same day. There's no real issue. Versus with handguns, you have to jump through all the HQL like hoops, and then buying an AR in Maryland is like annoying as fuck, just because of all the H-bar crap. Why won't I release the Epstein files? If you're talking about the list of people in his black book, that is available on the Internet Archive. That has been publicly available since 2021. You've been able to read all of that for years. If you mean the actual Epstein files, I'm not Pam Bondi. The thoughts on targeted individuals. Usually when they're being targeted, people are like, they don't think they're a targeted individual. They're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Does Mrs. Simulator have a code word to check if you've been replaced by a clone? The clone would kill itself, I think. I think that most people don't have the mental fortitude to live with her. What's my photographic inspiration? How do you get everything to look so unnerving? Crime scene photography, and because it's crime scene photography. Where did I grow up? Alaska, then DC. I grew up on an island. I grew up on an air station, and then in DC. The wildest conspiracy theory that I got shit for believing that ended up being true. Obviously the Reddit thing, first of all. But I like to think I've been pretty vindicated on the fact that all of the people that were... I'm going to answer these last two on my iPad because my other memory card is full also. I think I've been pretty vindicated on all of the people that initially claimed that I was just being a racist for saying that a certain notable plague came from the U.S. getting their grant proposal for notable plagueitis denied by DARPA in 2019, and then being like, in publicly released email chains and shit between Alf Ray, Eric Bay, and Eater Pay, Assack Day, saying that, oh shit, we gotta go do that over in another country, in their plague invention factory, because we can also save money there by doing it under BSL 2+ instead of BSL 3. Instead of the plague came from them eating gross, creepy, crawly critters because of their backwards culture, which was the non-racist thing to say. No, but I think that I've been pretty validated on that. And then finally, last one, before I'm done here. And please don't ban me for saying that, YouTube. We're allowed to now. The New York Times published an article about that. You don't be just harping on this still. Be cool for once. And then the last one. Do I have any industrial music recommendations? Yes. Tomohiko Sagai, Japanese electronic musician, sort of like power noise, like rhythmic power electronics. You know who you are.
Call me right, I creep at night. Posse deep is how I creep. Call me right on the